Hey everybody, it's Litman J Games, and today I'm going to show you a family weight gateway game that I truly adore. And I'm going to show you how to play Sunrise Lane. Sunrise Lane is for 2 to 4 players. Each color has 28 buildings. You will use them all with 2 to 3 players, but only 22 if you play with 4 people. There's a scoring card aid that you can reference throughout the game. Make sure to put the park spaces next to the board. Every player gets a scoring marker, and you'll notice on the flip side, there's a 60 marker to show if you go all the way around the board. Put that at 0. This is the first player token, and it's to make sure that everybody has the same amount of turns by the end of the game. Everybody starts with 3 cards. On your turn, you must do one of the 2 possible actions. One action is to draw 2 cards to add to your hand, and you have a maximum hand limit of 5. The other option is to play cards from your hand and place them on the board. To start the game, you must always place a house next to the starting space on the board. In order to go to these places, you must have a card that matches the color in a square. So in this case, a blue card allowed this person to put their house there. The circles represent how many points you get. So in this case, there are 2 points. And you immediately move the marker. You may continue placing houses on your turn as long as you still have cards. If you continue to place houses, it must be adjacent to the last house you played. So this spot would be okay, these spots would not. Once you are done placing your houses, draw 1 card. Now the next person has an option. They could place houses here or always adjacent to the starting square. If on your turn you do not have a color that corresponds to the square you want to go to, or you do not want to play it, you have another option. You may discard any card from your hand, in this case the blue card, and place a park on the square. You will earn no points for placing a park. The advantage to doing this is now the gold player can place a house on a 3-point square by discarding 1 card. While this earns gold 3 points, you are allowed to play multiple cards on a square and stack your houses up to a maximum of 4 high. So in this case, they would earn 6 points. When a player has used all their houses and only have 2, 1, or 0 left, it triggers the end of the game. If blue were to go out, everybody gets to take the same amount of turns, which means white, gold, and red would get 1 more turn. In this situation, if red had triggered the end of the game would be immediately over because blue had gone first. You will notice on the board there are 2 areas that have blue surrounding a quadrant and 2 areas that surround red. These are additional end of game scoring situations. In order to qualify for scoring, you must have at least a space with 2 houses high. In this scenario, red has 4 houses, so they earn 10 points. Gold and blue are in second place. They tied. They both get 6 points. Lastly, white would have been third, so they would get 3 points. Now, if the situation were changed and blue and gold had 3 high, but gold has another 3 high, they win the tiebreaker, getting 6 points, which would mean blue would come in third, getting 3 points. Unfortunately, white then would get nothing. In the red sections of the board, you get points for having the most houses in the quadrant. So in this case, white has the most with 6, blue would be second with 5, red would be third, scoring them points 10 for first, 6 for second, and 3 for third. Lastly, you score points for the longest chain of houses, and it may go across different quadrants. In this scenario, gold has the most because they have 7 in a row. Red does not get credit for having 8 because the park breaks up that chain. The player with the most points wins Sunrise Lane. If this Rainer Knizia game sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and check out Sunrise Lane.